What's up, Stalkers? DEDKAF is on the mic. The release of Stalker 2 happened a year and a half ago, and it was a massive commercial success. 1 million copies flew off the digital shelves in just 36 hours after launching on Xbox and PC. Since then, the game has received giant patches dropped on PS5, and right now we are one step away from the release of the first major story expansion, Cost of Hope, which comes out this summer. Recently, a fresh interview with Agostino Simonetta, the commercial director at GSC, popped up, and reading between the lines, there is a lot of juicy info. Today we are looking beyond the horizon. What awaits Stalker 2 after the release of the two announced DLCs and the engine update? Where is the promised multiplayer? And Stalker on Nintendo Switch 2? Sit back, grab some tea, and let's get into it. So point number 1, story expansions. We know there will be at least 2. The first one, Cost of Hope, comes out this summer. The second one is part of the Ultimate Edition, and according to Ago, work on it is already in full swing. Speaking about the first expansion, Ago emphasized its depths. There is so much meaning in Cost of Hope that once players get to play it, they will absolutely understand everything. The studio is also betting heavily on this release to expand the audience. We think new Stalkers will join us in the zone when Cost of Hope launches in the summer of 2026. I'll add that work on both expansions actually started even before the game's release. Back on October 17, 2024, during Gamescom Asia, GSC officially stated that part of the team was working on the first story DLC, meaning Cost of Hope, but the conceptual and earliest work on the first 2 story expansions began way back in 2023, a full year before release. But what happens when GSC releases both DLCs? Is that the end of support? Apparently not. Ago explicitly stated, "We haven't stopped and we are not stopping." He pointed out that the early patches alone fixed a colossal amount of technical issues, around 10,000 bugs, and releasing the modding tools worked perfectly for audience retention. Remember patch 1.8 right before last Christmas? The developers didn't just fix bugs, they injected hours of new gameplay into the game. This gives us a clear signal. GSC plans to support Stalker 2 as a live service game, but in a good way. Even after the paid DLCs are out, we will likely see free content patches, expanded tools for modders, and maybe new random activities in the zone to keep players coming back. Now, for the third subject, multiplayer. GSC is currently trying hard to avoid and ignore any questions about this topic, and the reason is quite simple, they just don't have anything to share. If you were expecting online play anytime soon, I hate to break it to you, we won't see it for a very long time. It seems development hasn't even started. Let's go over the official facts to clear up any wild fantasies. No one promised multiplayer at launch, and it was never planned. The developers explicitly said they only planned to start working on it after the game's release, and so far there is zero exact information on whether development has even kicked off. Furthermore, there are absolutely no multiplayer assets or hidden network files in the leaked builds or the release version. And one more crucial point that needs to be repeated: there will be no co-op. Community managers have officially denied the development of a cooperative mode multiple times. The entire multiplayer concept for the second Stalker is exactly the same network game we had in the original trilogy, meaning strictly classic PvP modes and team deathmatch. So for now we're just waiting for the first official announcements, which by the looks of it will take a very long time. And now for the cherry on top. In the interview, Ago was asked, "Isn't it crazy to think about a Stalker 2 port for the Nintendo Switch 2? And you know what he answered? He didn't say no. He said, "You never know. We are always exploring new platforms." The release of the original trilogy on the Switch was received very well. Sounds fantastic. Unreal Engine 5 is heavy stuff, but technology doesn't stand still. And the Nintendo Switch 2 received DLSS support and hardware capable of running modern titles. If GSC actually optimizes the zone for a handheld, it will be legendary. To sum up, the future of the franchise is mapped out for years to come. The summer DLC will show us a new level of story. Multiplayer is looming on the horizon, albeit a very distant one, and technical capabilities are opening doors to new platforms. The zone lives on. Drop a comment below. What are you looking forward to the most? The fourth story DLC or maybe huge global mods? And don't forget to join our Telegram channel. News drops there much faster, and I also posted the Almanac there. Link in the description. DEDKAF was here. Good hunting, stalkers.